Welcome everybody to our committee meetings today. We're going to start off with our Financial Administrative Services Committee meeting. On this committee are myself, Councillors O'Connor, Councillors Berg, and Mayor Clayton. We'll start off with our land acknowledgement. The city respectfully acknowledges the Beaver, Cree, Dene, and Métis people as the original caretakers of the land and surrounding areas. We are grateful to live, learn, work, and play on Treaty 8 territory within Turtle Island. Acknowledge these lands have been home to diverse and sovereign nations and Inuit nations since time immemorial. Just look for an adoption of the bill. So, sorry, my Skype come up funny. It's saying adoption of agenda. I don't think we need to do that. We'll just go to our.
Sorry, just to interrupt Chair Plott. We're going to add that new process that at every meeting we adopt the agenda. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me know. I guess we'll look for a motion to adopt the agenda, please.
So moved.
Okay. Thanks, Mayor Clayton.
Can't say yes.
In favor.
And that carries. Takes us a little while to get it up to speed on these new things, I guess. We'll go into, we don't have any delegations, so we'll go into our reports and we'll go to our service area update and we'll ask Chief White, please.
Thank you very much, Chair Plott. So a few updates from the service area. Assessment and taxation have wrapped up the BIA inspections downtown. That report with the bylaws should be coming to committee, the next standing committee, pardon me. Assessment inquiry time is still ongoing, so assessors are helping with inquiries from property owners in regards to their new assessment. Appeals deadline is April 3rd. And finally, they are also working with property owners that have properties listed for the upcoming tax sale. Currently, that list is down to 6 properties. Within finance, the external third-party auditors are here on site for our year-end field work, so they'll be here this week and next. Our procurement team has 6 bids on the market at this time and are working with departments to finalize requirements for other competitive bids for the 2024 capital plan. Lastly, with GIS and ITS, the network teams are working to complete infrastructure installation before departments move into to the Coordinated Care Campus. Alberta Winter Games Online Venue Locator app, when it was out, saw over 3,000 unique users and 12,000 views. Finally, both the city and county GIS teams have been meeting and working together, looking at areas for improvement for technical support in case of future GPREP activation. And that concludes my verbal update.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions for Chief White? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our next item on the agenda, our enterprise resource planning, and I'll go back to Chief White for that one.
Thanks again, Chair Plott. So the recommendation today is that committee receives this report for information. The ERP is a cloud-based software solution. It centralizes the city's finance, human resources, payroll, procurement, and supply chain management functions. Prior to the ERP, administration had utilized 5 legacy systems and performed manual data entry tasks to manage the city's core business processes. Each legacy system required custom support from external vendors, and the complexity of system integration made data management challenging and had inherent security risks due to multiple points of entry. The ERP has seen to date a number of successes. It has increased transparency and accountability of business processes at the city. It has a centralized data repository that ensures employees and vendors follow standardized processes. It also automates workflows and uses proper financial controls, which allows us to better ensure accountability to internal policies and to our regulatory bodies. A few of the successes identified are the improved data accessibility. So the ERP has centralized and consolidated data from various departments and business functions. This centralization allows for easier access, improved accuracy, and streamlined information flow. does support better collaboration, faster response times, and supports data-driven decision-making to improve transparency. ERP has also improved data security as it limits the amount of entry points to access core business functions. User permissions, which are supported by licensing and data security roles, ensure that employees access only necessary information within the system. Another success is the Human Resource Information System. Prior to the ERP, employee HR functions were managed manually by each department with the oversight from HR. Employees had to use several systems to view their own personal information and payroll information. Employees are now able to manage this and access one source of employee documents. We've also seen improved financial management as the ERP offers robust financial management capabilities, benefiting the city's financial planning and control processes. Administration is still working on refining reporting across the organization to meet the needs of end users. However, the ERP has enabled better tracking of revenues and expenses, improved budgetary control, and effective financial forecasting. Also improved regulatory compliance as procurement and supply chain management functions are centralized through the ERP. The procurement department approves all purchase requisitions over $5,000. This ensures compliance with regulatory bodies and the city's purchasing policies. Scalability and adaptability. As the city grows, it is essential to have a flexible and scalable system in place to manage core business functions. And the ERP system can accommodate the changing needs and requirements of the city, making it a future-proof investment. The final success I'd like to highlight today is business continuity and disaster recovery. With the ERP being a cloud-based solution, it stores data in the cloud and therefore enhances business continuity and disaster recovery through regular backups. Storing all data in a cloud mitigates business disruption risks from any local disasters. Due to the complexity of the system and the accelerated implementation, administration has had to address several challenges. Challenges related to the ERP are expected to continue until sustainment is reached. Administration is solution-focused and addresses challenges as they arise. So with greater outputs does come a greater amount of effort and workload compared to previous systems. Processes such as procure to pay ensure proper adherence to policies and provide solid financial controls, however, do take a greater number of steps for users to complete tasks. Subject matter experts continue to support end users and ensure understanding of processes and provide regular training and support. We have identified two next steps that administration will remain focused on, and that's reaching sustainment. So we will continue to work with our implementation partner and access resources for knowledge transfer so that we ourselves are able to work more in the system with minimal third-party support. The goal is to minimize external support and increase internal capacity. And finally, we are working at developing performance indicators to ensure the ERP aligns with city business objectives and that it continues to provide value. And that does conclude my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll just open up for questions from my colleagues. We'll start with Councillor O'Connor, please.
Thank you, Chair Palat. Ms. Whiteway, Chief Whiteway, I have three questions. First of which, I'm just curious about the backup system that you have. It's all cloud-based. I'm just wondering, in some of the systems that I've used in construction software that we had, they had a redundancy in the system where there was a separate backup just in case the whole system went down. Have we looked at that kind of process?
Thank you for the question through the chair. So this would be run third party. So we are using Oracle, which is a large ERP software as a solution, or software as a service, pardon me. So the need for us ourselves to have any sort of backup, they have that covered. Since we've gone live in November, we've not seen downtime. It's normally scheduled. Downtime is scheduled when needed, usually outside of operating hours. But we've not at this point had an issue. And based on the RFP submission that we received, historically Oracle doesn't have a lot of downtime issues, but they do have the adequate backup that we would need.
Okay, perfect. There's nothing worse than thinking that you have a backup and it didn't copy. The second thing is, I see in your report that fleet engineering and corporate facilities, will this be on a similar system? Because it's still legacy systems, and I'm just curious as to how that will play itself out. And it sounds like it's going to be the same system on Oracle, correct?
Thank you for the question through the chair. We are currently preparing to go to RFP for updated asset management solution. So that was approved to capital budget. So I'm not at this time certain what we will get as a product. I will, however, say that we will look for integration into Oracle. So perhaps it's another vendor that can simply integrate with our ERP system. And I'm not sure which vendor at this time we will go with. That's something we'll go through the RFP process for.
Okay. It sounds like the whole system is improved exponentially. I don't know how you were able to get your reports out in the past, so kudos to you. The last one relates to the sustainability piece, and you don't, if that's what it's called. I'm just wondering, do you have any timelines of how much longer that would take to be able to reach that sustainable?
Thank you for the question through the chair. So, no, at this time we're looking at hopefully within the next 3 to 6 months. As indicated, we did accelerated implementation, so we were prepared to be operating in a live environment and fixing as required. So that's the trade-off by taking the 2 to 3 years to implement versus we had done it in 10 months. So now we're looking at decreasing the number of issues identified, which we're seeing a trend, as well as measuring the amount of external support we require versus internal. So there's a lot of things we're watching, and then once we're satisfied that we're able to ourselves administer the system more confidently, we'll call it that we've reached sustainment.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Councillor O'Connor. Councillor Berg.
Yeah, thanks, Chair Palat. So, Chief Whiteway, 2 questions around security. I'm glad you brought up security. I guess the first one should be fairly easy. Do we have increased security under this from hackers over the previous system?
Thank you for your question. When we went out to RFP, it was one of our requirements that they have certain levels of security. Now, for me to say exactly what, and I won't get into, but yes, we're confident in the system that we have introduced, but also our general principles and policies and practices throughout the city. So cybersecurity is something that our IT team is constantly concentrating on, and we share as much information to educate our employees and staff as well.
Thank you. And so the next one, as I've heard as AI advances, I've seen a couple of news stories, one about a municipality, one about a business, sending out payment as they were deceived by AI. What protections do we have against that?
Thank you for your question. So we do have things like our multi-factor authentication. So getting that text message as your secondary sort of verification that you are the right person, that helps to prevent scams or hackers. But there's also, we don't have sort of within ERP specifically anything that would result in AI, but really it's education, sharing, our IT team being constantly sharing with our organization and ensuring that our employees are trained to identify when those situations may occur and to be wary. But it is a reality for every organization, and I think one of our things is educating our staff and helping them to identify those things that may be maybe a hacker or someone trying to access our system.
Okay, thanks for the reassurances.
Thanks, Councillor Berg. Just a couple questions for me, Chief Waitway, as well. In the report, it talks about transparent and accountability of the business processes has improved. Totally believe that inside of the city. Can you just give me examples of how it would look externally? Have we seen anything through external communications of how the ERP has helped with the transparency to the community?
Thank you. So I think we've always done a really great job with transparency, and I think that we've always been able to produce great reporting to council and committee, to the public. We've been able to we post all of our bids and our spending and our budgets and all of our projects. So none of that has changed. It's the background work. So I would say that likely members of the public are seeing the end outputs that they've always been accustomed to, but it is simplified on our end how to get there. So that would be more of what's happening. The other, I would say, benefit that maybe they're seeing is through the procure to pay. So the purchase orders and the ability for our suppliers and vendors to see those purchase orders and ensure that they're providing us exactly what was requested. So that might be something that's been a big change. We are working to train our suppliers and vendors to be used to invoicing based on a purchase order and those sorts of new steps. But all in all, it's been going very well.
Okay. And just so are we like 95% complete with the ERP implementation, like just on a census scale that way, or is it?
Thank you for the question. I'm not going to assign a percentage to it. I would say that we have certain modules that we're finalizing. As with anything, there's a significant learning curve. So it's that continuous support of our end users throughout the organization. Every single department has somebody that administers things within this system, whether it's payroll or financial or purchasing. So I would say it's that the training that we will continue to do. But yes, we are functioning well. We've transitioned well. Our year end is going very well. There's lots of positive signs that we should be, I would say, at the stage of sustainment here in the next few months.
Great. Seeing no other questions, just look for some business arising, please. Councillor Berg.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I would recommend that committee receive this report for information.
Thanks for that. Vote. That carries. So we'll go back to Chief White with our outstanding item list, please.
Thank you, Chair Palat. So item 1235 was just presented to committee. So if that one could then be removed. Otherwise, that's it.
Okay, Councillor O'Connor.
Yes, I'd like to move that committee receive the March 5th outstanding items list as amended for information.
Okay, thanks for that. And that carries as well. And that will end our Financial and Administrative Services Committee. We'll be back in about a minute or two here with our next committee.